Well, I was supposed to go out and walk around, take some photos, but weather had other plans. So while we're waiting for that for the rain to stop, I thought I might as well show you guys how we shoot using manual lenses. So we've got with us a all manual lens. It's a TT Artisan 50mm f1.4 tilt, and what we're going to do is we're going to try to show you how we shoot on manual. So you can see there are numbers here, and numbers pertain to your aperture and your focus. And how that works, let me adjust things over here. How that works is we've got numbers on the lens, and these numbers pertain to your aperture, right, your f-stop, and your focal length, or sorry, your focus range. So these numbers dictate what is in focus, or relatively in focus, when you're at a certain aperture. So if I am at f4, anything between 3 to 5 meters, right, or roughly 9 to 15 feet, since it's past there, 8 to 15 feet, will be in focus. So if I'm shifted to f8, so that's the zone for 8, anything between 2 to 5 meters would be in focus, right? So if I set it somewhere like this, anything between 3 to infinity would be relatively in focus. And that's really it. That's all there is to it. I don't have a tripod on me. We'll switch it out to a smaller lens. We're using a 50f2, the 50f1.4 tilt. It is a smaller lens, but the same principles apply in terms of like the aperture and the distance, the focus distance. We are still getting a bit of rain, so it's not the ideal light, but let's see what we can get. Again, not ideal weather. We're getting a bit of a drizzle, but we're gonna make the most of what we can do. So shooting on a manual lens allows you to preset your focus, shooting at a narrower f-stop, and you know, without looking at your screen, you know what is in focus. It allows you to get certain shots in focus, or intentionally out of focus, right? And I use that along with slow shutter speeds to get that layer of depth and motion. And yeah, I'm not sure where we should head. We head straight. I'm feeling for some coffee, so let's head straight. So I don't think I'm going to get any good photos today. Not at least photos in my style. But as I was saying, I switched over to a smaller 50mm f2 lens versus the f1.4. But the same thing applies. It still uses the same numbers up on the front. So you've got your aperture, and just below down here, you've got your focus distance. And it's the same thing. It's just a smaller lens. I prefer this setup compared to the f1.4 I was using earlier. It just felt so huge for what I was doing for street photography. This TT Artisan 50mm f2 I prefer a lot better. But as I was saying, this allows you to set your f-stop to a narrower f-stop and preset your focus so that you know that anything at a certain distance from you is in focus. So you don't have to worry about, is it in focus? You just get used to setting the distance, setting the aperture, and you know that it's going to be in relative focus. And the goal isn't to get like tack sharp images. You know, you want to get tack sharp images, but you're capturing a scene. So I use slower shutter speeds. I'm capturing motion. I try to set up layers into the shot, and it just works. I'm happy with what I get, and you know, I think more than anything for this type of photography, that's what's important. It's if you're happy with the images that you're getting. Sea salt latte.